Princess Abumere has been reviewing this fiction book titled The Spider King's Daughter, written by one of Nigeria's brightest new creative writing stars, Chibundu Onuzo. Here's the concluding part of the book review. Enjoy it. Do you think we underestimate the power of books like this in telling our stories, in selling our culture to the world out there? I think what countries like America, what they've done successfully, is to sell their own stories to the world through movies and through their music and their books. You know, we're not doing too badly with music. Maybe Nollywood is not doing too badly. It still has a long way to go. But when it comes to Nigerian literature, I'm wondering, I keep asking myself, do we underestimate the power Nigerian literature can have in terms of selling our stories?
Absolutely.
To the world?
Absolutely. We underestimate it every day. Every time you walk past a book, a Nigerian book, most times you just think, this Nigerian author, like, let me spend my money at the cinema instead of buying this book. But one thing with books is I treasure. Now, when I buy a book, what I do is I write my name, I write where I was when I bought the book, and I write the date and the year. The reason I started doing this is because my grandfather, he's late now, he gave me a book, and the book, he got it in 1978.
Whoa.
And he wrote down like how he felt about the book. And this is what he does. Whenever we would go and see him, he would give each grandchild a book.
Wow.
Yes. And that book is a treasure because he scribbled his thoughts about the book. And that book was 1978. I wasn't born in 1978. But the fact that I have that book, I have that story. And it is something that it's in my hands. I can pass it on to my children. They can pass it on to their children. Books capture a lot. They don't capture, yes, movies tell you the story, but they don't capture as much as a book would. A book would illustrate every single thing. And it gives you that opportunity to imagine how things would have been in a certain time, to tell you the story of how somebody felt in a certain time. Yes, the movies have their dialogues and all that, but they don't tell you enough. They don't tell you enough. That's why you see people who read the books and then go and see the movies, they always complain because the movie never does it justice. So books play a major role in documenting our stories. Books play a major role in telling our stories and sharing our stories. This is one of the easiest ways. I mean, I can buy 5 copies of this and then give it to my friends abroad, and they would appreciate it because I've given them, aside from what I've described, if they haven't come to Lagos, it's giving them an insight into my city. You
know, these days I'm seriously promoting Nigerian literature. I'm telling people, go and read Nigerian literature, and it's not because it's not for any other reason, but for the fact that I've been enjoying Nigerian writers. You know, you read Nigerian books and you're saying to yourself, wow, there's so much talent.
Absolutely.
So much talent out there. The books are brilliant. You know, I was talking to somebody recently. I said, look, you enjoy reading Jeffrey Archer and Jane Austen and the rest of them, but have you tried reading Nigerian literature before? And I gave her a book written by Sefiata, you know, which, I mean, Sefiata, as you know, is brilliant.
Yes, she is. Fantastic.
You know, and her perception changed after reading it.
And books make you want to go places. After our session about Nike's book, Thread of Gold Beads, I found myself in Benin Republic.
You did?
Yes, just because of that book.
Wow.
I went because I wanted to see, like, I might have not seen as much as I wanted to, but I wanted to experience a little bit of it. I wanted to see and then close my eyes and picture like the lead character and picture like, oh my goodness, how she was running through the village, how her people were, and just relating with the French people. It was a wonderful experience. You
know, recently I was reading Chief Olusegun Obasanjo's autobiography.
Yes.
You know, and in the early part of it, he was talking about his earlier days in Abeokuta. And of course, he mentioned Dahomey. You know, and you know, remember the Abeokuta
yes, I remember
connection in Nike's book. And as I was reading reading that part, I just remember Nike Fatoke's book. You know, and the brilliant thing about Nike's book, which I also saw here, is the way she painted the pictures of Abeokuta,
yes.
and Lagos and Dahomey, which Chibundu has also done in her own book. And that's why I think that books can help us to tell our stories.
Especially with history.
Especially with history. Because she did a good job showing us what Lagos life is like.
Yes.
Because the book is set in Lagos.
Yes, it is.
You know, Lagos life is like. And you could read, and even if you've never been to Lagos, you get an idea of what Lagos looks like to some extent.
Yes,
is that
the
correct?
hustle and bustle of the society, yes.
What do you think about the title, The Spider King's Daughter? Is that appropriate, what you read in there?
Yes, it is, absolutely. She got the title spot on, correctly.
Ah, she did?
She did.
I didn't think so.
Really? We have, like, at first, before you read the book, you're thinking, and then while you're reading the book, you're like, why are you calling this lovely girl the Spider King's daughter? You're first questioning her. But as you get to know Abike Johnson's father, Lumide Johnson, better, then you know why he is the Spider King. As you get to know the character better, you know the reason for that title.
So you like the title?
I like the title.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, on a scale of 1 to 10, how do you rate the Spider King's daughter?
I'd give it a 7.
7?
Yes.
Why are you not scoring it a 9? Why are you not scoring it a 5?
I can't score it a 5 because it's a brilliant book. I can't score it a 9. That's such a hard question. Chibundu, if you watch this, I like your book. I can't score it a 9 because it didn't get to a 9 for me. It didn't get to a 9 for me. But one thing about her book, it might not be a history lesson, but it is very educative. Now, since reading this book, when I see a hawker on the road, I think about where's he coming from, what's his story, what made him end up on the street. And then also I'm much more polite to them. I say, oh, good afternoon, please give me chewing gum. And then I say thank you after. I'm much more, because the book reminds you that everyone has a story. There's a reason why they're there.
Now, you know the book is all about the thoughts and the narratives of the hawker and that of Abike, the rich girl.
Yes.
No, I like what she did. Every time she narrated the thoughts of the hawker, it was always in straight text. And every time she narrated the thoughts of Abike, the rich girl, it was always in italics.
Yes.
I mean, that was very unique.
It was.
How did you find that?
I thought it was good because it lets you know who's saying what and who's talking. So as soon as I see fonts in italics, I know that, okay, Abike is speaking. As soon as I see straight fonts, I know that the hawker is the one speaking.
I think that was very,
like you're part of their gist.
Very creative.
Yes, very, very.
And about 95% of the book is all about what Abike was thinking and saying, what the hawker was thinking and saying. That was very interesting. Now I'm going to ask you to please read from The Spider King's Daughter.
Okay.
Read somewhere that you thoroughly enjoyed reading.
I'd say their first meeting, the first time they met each other, and this is chapter 2. My driver sped up, the hawker gave chase. Traffic eased up, and we found ourselves skimming along the road. In the side mirror, I could see a figure running after us. Another 50 meters, and the figure was still there, although smaller. I turned to find the hawker beside my car. He was very good looking, dark and chiseled, like something out of a magazine. I glanced at what he was selling. Sugary milk, frozen and wrapped in plastic for distribution to the masses. May I have one, please? What flavor? Vanilla, 100 naira. I stuck a 200 naira note out of the window and waited. You never pay a hawker until you have what you're buying firmly in your hand. I was giving my change first, then my ice cream. Thank you. When he left, traffic had descended again, leaving every vehicle pressed against another. Once I was certain he was gone, I flung the plastic thing out of the window. Tomorrow, take this way home.
Very interesting. Very interesting. So that's a glimpse into The Spider King's Daughter.
It is.
Great. So thank you very much. It's been wonderful having you.
Thank you for having me.
Nice talking books with you all the time.
Yes.
All right. I hope you've had fun watching today's episode. Don't forget you can join us on any of our social media platforms displayed on your screen. My name is Olakunle Kasumo. Remember, one great book can change your life. Bye-bye.